Hey, this is Mark, and today I've got an iPhone 6 Plus here for touch disease that looks like it's clearly been worked on, and I haven't looked at it much, but I'm not too happy with the way it looks initially. So let's just check the note, see if we get any clues what's going on here. Says touchscreen does not work and the battery does not seem to charge well anymore. I think my phone had touch disease because bending/twisting it slightly used to allow the touchscreen to function. I brought it to a local repair shop and they said it didn't appear to be touch IC and were not able to fix it. So, what do we have? We've got the touch IC with like a chunk missing out of it here. So the little chunk of black is okay to be missing, but the chip itself is actually damaged there, which, you know, that tiny amount can sometimes be okay, but often not. And then the next thing that kind of jumps right out at me right away is I like to remove chips with these handy little hook tweezers that I've made. That kind of fit right underneath the chip, but I can't get them under this chip. So whoever reballed this chip did not do it properly. Like, I should be able to fit those tweezer tips under there. Let's see, did they? Oh, good, they did Cumulus too. That lovely. That's beautiful. Love it. Absolutely no reason for it, but sure, go ahead and do it. And then if we look at the other side, I can see that the CPU shield has definitely been off, so that makes me wonder what the hell were you doing under there. So we'll go ahead and get started by taking the CPU shield off. Just see, did they make a mess for me under there or not? All right, so yes, I don't like that. All right, it looks like hard to say. Like, maybe no, I don't think this backlight driver was changed. That's this is not what I want to see though. These solder balls. Ugh. Just please don't do stuff like this. So this undoubtedly happened. You know, this relatively minor overheating of the other side of the board undoubtedly happened while they were changing Cumulus, or apparently reballing Cumulus. I don't know. So it happened while they were working on Cumulus and just putting too much heat in this general area, which was totally unnecessary. I'm a little worried that they're uncovering like these components over here, like maybe something was up with home button at some point. Looks like they probably slid the home button connector around. That's definitely not on straight. So, you know, this is one of those cases where it started off as totally absolutely straightforward repair that incompetence has now added a ton of variables, and now it's here for me to sort it out. Really frustrating. Don't do this kind of stuff, guys, please. So I can see up there in the corner that they've exposed a ton of ground in that corner because, who knows? Because they thought it was a great idea. So what are we looking at here? No obvious signs of bridging under here. They did at least run their jumper to the correct, from the correct via to the correct pin. Doesn't look like that jumper was bridged to ground, so good job on that, I guess. I'll give them that. Just gonna chuck that mason in the garbage, and I don't think I'm gonna trust this cumulus either. But we are gonna pull it off and see what it looks like under there. All right, doesn't look like there's any bridging under there either. I'm also going to toss out that cumulus. I'm not trusting the chips that came on this particular board. So I'm going to start by just undoing what the last technician, using air quotes when I say that, what the last person who worked on this board did. Going to just try to undo what they did, or redo anything that clearly looks like was done before me. That way I can trust my own mason and cumulus job, and then if there are still touch issues, I can start troubleshooting from there. All right. So, first thing we're going to do is make our new jumper. Now, I am not a fan of running the jumper down the trace like the person before me did, where it's kind of a straight jumper from that via down the trace like that. And the reason, I would think, is obvious. But the reason for that is because, we know that the root cause of the problem is the bending and flexing of the board, and that particular point being a weak point or a high stress point. That's the point of failure there. So if you're going to place a jumper there to fix the broken piece of copper that's already in the board, well, why not put a little bit of slack in the line so that future bending and flexing can't put stress on that exact same spot. So I kind of do an L with my jumper to give it a little bit of wiggle room. All right, now we're going to cover up a bunch of crap with some green goop. And I want to get this green stuff on in a relatively thin coating because some of it is going to be under the chip, and I don't want the green stuff to keep the chip from settling properly. So I think I've got plenty on the board now. I just need to kind of smear it around, make it a thinner coating, get everything that I want to have covered. So this is to prevent unintentional bridging and also to keep that jumper from shifting when I put the chip on. Now, you may be looking at this and thinking, oh, well, there's clearly a missing ground pad there, and the last person to work on it, they knew what they were doing because they exposed some of that ground so that that ball could attach to it. So my answer to that would be all four corners of this chip are ground, as are multiple other pads throughout the array there. And losing that one corner ground pad is not going to hurt this at all. And it's much better to just leave it off. If it comes off, leave it off, and let the other ground pads do the same job. No need to create the possibility of your jumper shifting and touching that ground in the corner because you're trying to like make a jumper or whatever. All right. So green stuff is cured now. Now I think we'll start off putting a new cumulus on here, which I've actually got to dig out. It's been a while since I've needed a cumulus. Really only use these nowadays either when it's a like 5 series phone, 5S, 5C, iPhone 5, or when I get an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus that somebody else has worked on. Because they don't really tend to fail in the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. I don't know what's up with the 5C though, but sometimes in the 5C, Cumulus is just shattered. Like I've seen it often enough that like it's a thing. It's weird. Okay, now got to dig out a mason to reball. Let's see, do any of these guys look like they're in good shape? That guy looks pretty good. We'll use him. All right, here we go. All right, looks good enough to me. Okay, he's on there, and look at that, properly reballed this time. I can get my hooks under there. So my guess, and maybe I'm wrong, but my guess is that the reason this didn't work is because the person who did the job the first time is just really bad at reballing. All right, nothing looks worse on the other side of the board. Always worried when I have to keep. Whoa, I didn't even notice that earlier. There's no way that I did that. Why would it be so hot at that end of the board? It must be when the other guy was pulling the shield off. Ugh, that is just frustrating. All right, we're going to give this a try with the native screen because I do not have a known good screen within reaching distance right now. Maybe we'll get lucky and this screen will just work. Of course not. Of course the thing's not going to turn on. All right, what do we got here? Let's Swap over to DC power. There we go. So we got a dead battery. The guy complained that he was having some charging problems, so I don't know. Look into that later. Hopefully this just boots up and has working touch now, and I can be done with it for now. All right, buddy, you can do it. You can boot for me. I know you've been abused, but I believe in you. I know you can do this. Things are going to be different from now on. Your touch is going to work, and it's just going to continue to work indefinitely. You just have to boot. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Do it. Boot. And boot. All right. And do you have working touch? No, you don't. Of course you don't. Why would you? Why would you have working touch? That's crazy talk. Okay, so now we can start thinking about other possible causes. Top of the list would be try a known good screen. Check for any bent pins in the digitizer connector. Check for any corrosion around the pads of the pins in digitizer connector. Don't find any problems there. Check for long screw damage. No long screw damage. All right. Well, we're narrowing down our list of possibilities. So one thing that I have seen cause touch problems a few times is if this little 6-pin guy, who is a buffer for I think for an enable line that has to do with proximity sensor and ties it into touch. But this little guy right here, I've seen him go bad before. And sometimes replacing him can fix it. So I'm going to go grab my donor board and we'll come back and we'll change out this guy right here. And I'm bringing a known good screen to test with, just in case. All right, let's see. Donor board number 1. Does not have him anymore. See, it goes bad often enough that it may actually take some searching to find a board that still has one. All right, let's see. Nope, I've taken yours too. All right. What about you? Nope, taking yours. Well, that is a success. I think that was like the first board I grabbed. I should probably sort this big bucket of donor boards, but I haven't. So you people will just have to bear with me while I dig through a bucket of boards. All right, let's see. Do you? Nope, took yours. You got one hiding in there. All right, let's see if any of these others. No, you're not a 6. Got one under there. And another one. All right, good. Nick the corner of it a little bit. Just a little. Yeah, it's just like an epoxy. These aren't like silicone chips that can't handle a nick. These guys are actually pretty tough. They're kind of like NAND is also pretty tough. This is another one, also tough. Wi-Fi is another one like it, also very tough. Those guys can handle a little nick in the corner. They're not going to cry about it. All right, orientation mark. It's going to go. This guy's going to go like that. Is that right? No, like this. Yeah, let's flip him over and see. No, he's going to go like this. Yeah, that circle is our orientation. Yeah. All right, we're just going to touch him up with a little bit of leaded solder real quick, just to get this new one to go on there a little easier. Okay. Maybe this will work, maybe not. Still looking As good as we ever did on this side. Ugh, hate that. So yeah, the first couple of times I ran across this, like I would measure for the signal that runs through this on each side, and it seemed to indicate that that chip was bad. And then after seeing it a couple of times, I just started kind of making that my second go to after if changing touch IC doesn't fix it, change that guy, and then you're in like 98% are going to be solved. There's still other ways that touch can fail, but they're just really rare. Could probably come up with in theory over 100 different ways touch can fail by just looking at the schematics and saying, oh well, bet touch would fail if you took that off or broke this guy. But in reality, in the practical world, touch only fails a couple of different ways in the 6 Plus. And these two guys here, they generally fix all of it. All right. I'll go ahead and use my known good screen. And then if that works, I'll just try the other screen. We'll boot it up again with the other screen. Come on, boot for me. There we go. All right, we are booting again. Oh, didn't realize that had turned off. Oh, it's going to take forever to boot up again. This is always so boring, this part. I feel like I should keep talking, but I have nothing to say. I'm just ready to see if this thing works or if I have to work on it more. Ah. All right, here we are. And no, touch does not work. Oh shit. All right. Well, this is obviously going to take quite a bit more work. And I'm really, with the amount of previous work that's gone into this, I'm really not willing to spend a lot of time on fixing touch in this instance unless they want me to do data recovery. If the data is important, then I will keep working on touch. But if this is just for the sake of a 6 Plus, at this point, buy another board. Not worth putting a ton of time into. But I will add on to the end of this video and revisit this if the person responds that they want their data. So, all right. Thanks for watching.